Welcome back to the podcast playground. Our newest podcast is The Best Podcast.
Join Jay Carter and me, Vida Best, on The Best Podcast, where the dynamic duo brings you their insider secrets to everything wonderful. Now Jay and me dive deep into the top 5 everything, from the latest cell phones to affordable wines that won't break the bank.
So tell a friend, you've found The Best Podcast,
where every recommendation is a gem waiting to be uncovered. Tune in weekly for your dose of excellence.
We're here to cut through all that noise online and basically give you a shortcut to getting smart about, complex topics.
Yeah, just the essential info you need.
Exactly. And today, we are tackling the 2025 smartwatch market.
Oh boy.
Yeah, if you were like most people, you've probably typed best smartwatch into Google.
And then immediately regretted it.
Right. You're just drowning in acronyms, confusing charts, reviews going back and forth. It's a lot.
It really is. And that feeling, that overwhelm, it's totally justified. Our sources for this deep dive, they all pretty much confirm the biggest thing isn't even the watch itself initially.
What is it then?
It's the phone you already own. Seriously. You can't just, pick the one that looks coolest.
The ecosystem walk-in?
Precisely. Ecosystem compatibility is the #1 filter. It just immediately cuts the field in half, usually, decides which options actually matter for you.
It really is the great divide, isn't it?
Yeah.
iPhone users over here, Android users over there.
Yep. One side of the playground or the other.
Huh. Okay, so our mission today is pretty clear then. We want to pull out the critical, actionable stuff on the, let's say, top 5 watches for 2025. The real contenders.
So you know what you're actually paying for and, why it might be worth it. Or not.
Let's figure that out. Where do we start? The top dog.
Yeah, let's start where the money is and where, frankly, the sources seem to agree on the best overall device if you're in that ecosystem.
Okay.
We have to kick off with the premium tier. And that means starting with the undisputed champ, the rugged king, the Apple Watch Ultra 3.
Okay, the Ultra 3. This is the one everyone compares everything else to, right? Taking over from the Ultra 2.
Mm.
But what's new? What are the big technical leaps Apple made to justify that, let's be honest, massive price tag? It's like $799 US?
Yeah, $799 US, $749 in the UK. It's steep, but they really packed in some ambitious future-proof tech this time.
Like what?
Well, the big headlines are integrated satellite and 5G connectivity.
Whoa, satellite on your wrist.
Yep, that's huge. It's not just convenience anymore. It's potentially life-saving safety features if you're way off the grid.
Yeah.
That's a core part of the pitch.
Okay, satellite connectivity, that's a serious safety net. What about performance? There's a new chip, right? The S10?
Right, the S10 processor.
Yeah.
And that new brain, it enables much more responsive gesture control. We had double tap before.
Yeah, I remember that.
But now there's wrist flick, too. Lets you interact with things, notifications, apps, without even touching the screen. Performance-wise, it's definitely the most capable wearable Apple's ever put out.
Okay. And what about the build? The sources mentioned durability, the display.
Oh, yeah. The durability is still top-notch. Titanium body, same as before, but now it's 3D printed, which is interesting. Kind of a nod to sustainability.
Huh. Still super water resistant.
Yep, 100 meters. And the display. Wow. They can pump out up to 3,000 nits of brightness now.
3,000? That's incredibly bright.
It's blindingly bright. You could almost use it as a flashlight, seriously. Probably overkill for just walking to the office, but if you're actually trying to read a map on a super sunny mountain peak, phenomenal.
Okay. Makes sense for the Ultra name. Now, here's where I kind of push back on the sources a bit. The battery life, it's boosted, right? To 42 hours.
That's correct. Up to 42 hours.
Yeah.
Nearly 2 days.
Which sounds good, but the sources called that figure a reason to avoid. Why so harsh? 42 hours sounds decent.
It all comes down to expectations, I think. For a premium, rugged adventure watch that costs almost $800.
Right.
The expectation isn't just a bit better than the standard Apple Watch. People spending that much, especially for adventure use, they want true multi-day battery, like 3-4 full days without thinking about it.
I see. So 42 hours is better, but if you're planning a weekend hike.
You're still packing a charger. Exactly. So it's an improvement, yeah, but maybe still falls short compared to some dedicated adventure watches from, say, Garmin in that specific area.
Gotcha. That makes sense. You pay the premium, you expect zero compromises, and the battery's still a slight compromise. Okay.
Precisely.
But what if that $799 price, and obviously the need for an iPhone, is just too much? What's the best budget option for Apple fans? That brings us to the Apple Watch SE3, right?
Exactly, the SE3. This is really the smart choice if you're in the Apple ecosystem, but conscious of the budget, because you get fantastic core performance.
How so?
Well, what's really interesting and kind of surprising is the SE3 shares the same powerful S10 chipset that's in the Ultra 3.
Get out, really, the same chip.
Yep, so you get that top-tier speed and responsiveness, but, at a much lower price point.
Okay, so where did they save the money then? What's missing compared to the Ultra or even the main series watches?
Well, construction is one area. It uses a cheaper nylon composite backing instead of the stainless steel or titanium you find on pricier models.
Okay.
And crucially, they cut some of the more advanced health features.
Ah, that's usually the trade-off. What specifically?
You don't get the ECG function or the blood oxygen tracking.
Okay, let's pause there. ECG electrocardiogram. Why is missing that a potentially big deal for some people?
Well, the ECG lets you take a medical-grade reading of your heart rhythm directly from your wrist. It's primarily looking for signs of irregular rhythms, specifically atrial fibrillation, or AFib.
But it can be serious.
Very serious. So if detailed heart health monitoring is like your #1 priority, the SE3 might not be the right fit. It's just something you need to be aware of when you're looking to save that money.
Good to know. But it did get one major upgrade this year, right?
Yes. Big news for the SE line. It finally gets an always-on display. That was a huge omission on the previous SE models, made it feel a bit cheaper. Now it feels more like a proper smartwatch.
Okay, so that really clarifies the choice within the Apple world.
Right.
Peak performance and features with the Ultra 3, solid core experience on a budget with the SE3.
Pretty much sums it up.
All right, let's ditch the Apple ecosystem entirely now. Let's cross the divide. What if you're locked into the Android universe, particularly if you have a Samsung phone? Where do you look?
Okay, yeah. Now we're talking about the Samsung Galaxy Watch8. This is pretty much the go-to powerhouse for Android users, especially Samsung phone owners.
Because of that tight integration?
Absolutely. It runs Wear OS 6, Google's operating system, but Samsung layers its own stuff on top. It works best when paired with a Samsung phone. You get really deep integration with things like SmartThings for controlling your smart home, better connectivity features. It all just works seamlessly together.
And performance-wise, new chip in this one too.
Yep, it's got the updated Exynos W1000 chipset. So it's a very capable device, smooth performance.
Okay. And the health features. Samsung always seems to pack a lot in.
They really do. It's comprehensive. You get the basics, of course, but also things like run coaching, muscle and fat body composition monitoring.
Right, the BIA sensor.
Exactly. And something brand new this year, an antioxidant index.
Ooh, okay. Antioxidant index. What is that actually measuring? Sounds fancy.
It does sound fancy. Since it's new, we should probably clarify. It seems to be a proprietary measurement. Samsung claims it tracks markers related to cellular health and stress responses in your body.
So like internal stress.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah.
It's trying to quantify how well your body is fighting off damage from free radicals, maybe give you insight into internal aging or recovery needs. It's an attempt to go beyond just steps and sleep, get deeper into your body's actual state.
Interesting. That's some serious data tracking. But again, the crucial context here, like with the Apple Watch, is ecosystem, right? This Watch 8 is really for Android users.
Oh, absolutely. Optimized for Android, performs best with the Samsung phone. Trying to use this with an iPhone, forget it. You lose all the smart features that actually justify buying it.
And battery life on the Watch 8, where does that land?
It's rated for a pretty solid 30 hours. So, typical 1 day, maybe a bit more usage. Falls squarely in that standard high-performance smartwatch window. Needs charging daily, basically.
Okay, so Samsung Galaxy Watch 8 for the Samsung faithful. But what about the other big player in the Android space, Google itself? What's the story with the Google Pixel Watch 3?
Right, the Pixel Watch 3. This is positioned as the best choice if you're really embedded in the Google ecosystem, maybe using a Pixel phone. It's the sleek companion.
And it keeps that distinctive look, right? The round, minimal design.
It does. They stuck with that really classic, circular, almost pebble-like aesthetic that made the first couple of versions so popular. It's designed to be the perfect hardware partner for a Pixel phone, offering that pure, unadulterated Google software experience on your wrist.
What did they improve this year? Any major changes?
Yeah, the focus seems to have been on the display and, thankfully, battery life.
Oh, good. Tell me more.
So first, size options. They introduced a new, larger 45mm size. The previous ones were a bit small for some tastes, so this gives people with larger wrists or who just want more screen another choice.
Okay, bigger option. What else?
The display itself is significantly brighter. Better outdoor visibility, which was a bit of a complaint before. And the battery They managed to push it up to 36 hours if you use the battery saver mode.
36 hours. Getting closer to that Ultra 3 number, that's a decent improvement.
It's a good step forward. Definitely makes it more practical for overnight use or pushing through a long day.
That minimalist design is definitely a draw for many. But were there any downsides the sources pointed out, things Google didn't fix?
Yeah, a couple things. Unfortunately, that proprietary band attachment system.
Yeah. Not standard lugs.
Nope. Still the same system. It makes finding good third-party bands a bit of a pain compared to other watches. That hasn't been improved.
Annoying. Anything else?
And perhaps surprisingly, while it delivers that core Google experience, it still doesn't have built-in blood oxygen sensing, SpO2.
Really? That seems like table stakes now.
You'd think so. It's widely expected to come via a software update later in 2025, but it wasn't there at launch, which feels like a miss compared to Apple and Samsung.
Okay, interesting. So, Pixel Watch 3. Sleek, pure Google, better battery, bigger option, but still has that band issue and is waiting on SpO2.
That's a snapshot, yeah.
All right, that covers the big ecosystem leaders. Apple, Samsung, Google. Now for our final watch in the top 5, we're shifting focus a bit. This one's all about tackling a major pain point for smartwatches. Battery life.
Ah, yes. The holy grail for many users.
Let's talk about the OnePlus Watch 3, positioned as the Wear OS battery king.
This is the one that really made us stop and say, wow, when looking through the source material. The OnePlus Watch 3, it's being called the best general Wear OS watch, meaning it's not super tied into Samsung's extras or Google's specific look. It's more of an all-rounder.
Sort of headline feature.
The battery life. It's astonishing. Up to 120 hours.
Wait, 120 hours? Did I hear that right?
You did. 1, 2, that's 5. Solid days.
5 days. That completely blows the doors off the Apple Watch Ultra 3 battery complaints we were just talking about.
Absolutely demolishes the competition in that specific area.
Yeah.
It is, hands down, the best battery life you can get on a full-featured Wear OS smartwatch right now.
Yeah.
Period.
Wow. So if charging your watch every night drives you crazy.
This is the one you look at, seriously. You get that freedom from the charging cable combined with a pretty functional watch. It has a classic, bold, round look. And because it's Wear OS, you get access to Google's whole App Store, Spotify, Strava, Google Maps, the works.
Okay, there has to be a catch. 5 days of battery. What's the trade-off? Is it huge, slow, missing features?
Well, the main thing the sources noted is its size. It is bulky, described as big and heavy.
Okay. That makes sense. Big battery needs a big case.
It's kind of the inevitable price you pay for housing a battery that massive. Also at launch, the model with built-in LTE for phone-free connectivity wasn't available yet. That's expected later in 2025, along with potentially a smaller version.
Gotcha.
But honestly, 5 days of battery on a watch that still does all the smart things. For a lot of people, that's a compromise they'll happily make, even if it's a bit chunky.
I can definitely see the appeal there. Okay, so that rounds out our top 5 across the board. Premium, standard, battery champs, ecosystem leaders. But hang on, we found one more contender, didn't we? A kind of bonus wild card that just screamed value.
We did indeed. This one demanded attention purely because of its price point and what it offers. Let's talk about the system-agnostic steal, the Amazfit Active 2.
Okay, Amazfit Active 2, pitched as the best inexpensive smartwatch. How inexpensive are we talking?
We're talking sub $100. It comes in at just $99 in the US, $99 in the UK. And what's remarkable is, despite that price, it scored a full 5-star review from our sources.
5 stars for under $100. That's highly unusual. What's its secret sauce? What makes it so good for the price?
Well, its biggest unique value proposition, apart from the dirt cheap price, is that it completely ignores the ecosystem wars we've been talking about.
How so?
It works seamlessly with both iPhone and Android. iOS 14 or later, Android 7 or later. You're not locked in at all.
Wow, okay. That's huge for flexibility. And battery life.
Up to 10 days.
10 days for $99.
10 days. It's kind of astonishing. That level of freedom, plus compatibility with everything for under $100.
Yeah.
It's a really compelling package.
Okay, but what do you actually get for $99? Is it just a glorified fitness tracker? Does it have smart features? GPS?
Certainly, yeah. It's far from basic. You get a really comprehensive feature set, like 164 different sport modes.
That's 164. Wow.
AI-powered coaching features, a daily readiness score, similar to what pricier watches offer, continuous heart rate monitoring, and yes, built-in GPS for tracking runs or bike rides without your phone.
That is genuinely impressive for the price. Are there any catches?
Well, the base $99 model doesn't have NFC for contactless payments. You pay a small $30 premium, so $129 total, to get a version with NFC and maybe a slightly nicer display finish.
Okay.
But even that base model, it's incredibly feature-rich and genuinely useful for the vast majority of people who just want reliable activity tracking, notifications, and, not having to charge it constantly.
Okay, wow. We've covered a lot of ground here. 6 major devices, from the nearly $800 Ultra 3 down to the $99 Amazfit Active 2. Let's try and distill this. What are the key takeaways for you, the listener, trying to actually make a decision?
Right, let's synthesize. The decision funnel really starts here.
Yeah.
First, you absolutely have to reaffirm that compatibility rule. It's the hard line.
Say it again for the people in the back.
If you own an iPhone, your practical choices are Apple Watch Ultra 3, SE3, or maybe one of the standard series models we didn't focus on today.
Got it.
If you own an Android phone, your choices are Wear OS watches, that's the Samsung Galaxy Watch8, the Google Pixel Watch 3, the OnePlus Watch 3, or others. Trying to cross that ecosystem line. Generally not worth the hassle and loss of features. Just don't.
Okay. Ecosystem first. What about someone who's maybe less interested in apps and notifications and more just a hardcore fitness enthusiast?
That's a great point. If fitness tracking is absolutely your #1 priority, maybe even above third-party apps like Spotify or paying with your wrist, then you should definitely look beyond these mainstream ecosystem players. The sources remind us that system-agnostic brands, like that Amazfit we just mentioned, or dedicated fitness tracker companies like Garmin, they offer compelling alternatives.
Because they focus purely on fitness and battery.
Exactly. They prioritize durability, super accurate GPS and heart rate, and charge optimization. Garmin watches, for instance, can often last weeks on a single charge. It's a totally different value proposition if apps aren't your main concern.
Right, weeks versus days, or in some cases just one day. Big difference. Okay, final point. For people still wavering between, say, the budget Amazfit or SE3 and the really premium options like the Ultra 3 or the Galaxy Watch 8, what specific advanced health features are you actually paying that big premium for?
You're paying primarily for advanced safety features and more sophisticated preventative health monitoring.
Like what specifically?
Things like automatic fall detection, which can call emergency services, the atrial fibrillation alerts via the ECG function we talked about. Some models are adding blood pressure monitoring capabilities and increasingly sophisticated sleep apnea detection.
Okay, so these aren't just novelty features anymore.
Not at all. These are tools that doctors and medical professionals are actually starting to integrate into patient care. They have real potential health benefits, but you pay a significant premium for them.
Understood. Wow. Okay, I feel like we've gone from that initial state of just total market confusion.
Drowning in specs.
Yeah. To having a really clear picture. We know the best rugged choice, the battery beast, the absolute budget steal, the core ecosystem leaders for Apple and Android. That's a ton of knowledge condensed down.
Hopefully a useful shortcut for you, but before you rush out and buy the shiniest, most expensive option based on all this,
Uh-oh, here it comes.
I want to leave you with one crucial piece of advice pulled straight from the source material. It's a necessary reality check, a bit of self-assessment before you click purchase.
Lay it on us.
Smartwatches, especially at the high end like that Ultra 3, can be extremely expensive. And let's be frank, the sources suggest they often don't offer overwhelming value for the average person compared to what you pay.
That's a pretty blunt assessment. A good dose of reality, though.
Yeah.
How should someone apply that? How do you assess the value for yourself?
It comes down to asking yourself one honest question. Before you commit, $800 or more for something like the Apple Watch Ultra 3, ask yourself, am I really going scuba diving this year? Am I actually going to use that satellite SOS out hiking? Or am I mostly just buying this fancy gadget so I can, check my text messages under the table without disturbing my dinner mates?
Okay, point taken.
Match the premium features to your actual life, not your aspirational Instagram life. Be honest with yourself about your needs before your wallet makes the decision for you.
That is excellent practical advice. Apply that knowledge wisely. Thanks for joining us.
Our pleasure.